Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am here with this sensational artist for the very last guest of this week, with Paisley Skye for the very next guest of this week. So he is Paisley Skye. So everyone, please welcome Paisley Skye on the show for the Galaxy Man Show today. And yeah, he's Paisley. Hey Paisley, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today, Paisley. To people that don't know who you are, if you give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Paisley Sky. I'm 16 years old. I'm a sophomore at Mountain Ridge High School, and I was born and raised in Utah, and that's yeah.
So
Oh,
we'll
and
dive
I'm a
right.
singer-songwriter.
Yes. Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Paisley. So for my very first question, so you've created amazing original songs. And for the first original song I'm going to mention is Bad Things. Like, what was it like coming up with the idea, creating this song, like the title name for this song, like in general, just like what was it like creating this song?
I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. It's originally from MGK and Camila Cabello. The mix and mastering were from Benjamin Allen. He's Canadian artist and producer from Arts Toronto. Yes. And um we like he's an amazing artist. He reached out to me and he asked if I could sing Camila's song like part. And I thought it was an easy yes because I already knew the song and I thought it was a win-win.
Next question. You have also created an original song called "Cause of You." What was it like coming up with the idea of creating this song, and what's the meaning behind "Cause of You"?
So the inspiration was from a toxic relationship that I knew I had to get out of. And how I created it was I was driving with my mom and I was telling her about all this drama and I was reading texts off my phone. And after when I got done reading it, my mom was like, um, that literally sounds like a song in the making. And I was like, you're right. And that's how Because of You came to be. And it was just the meeting was technically just about a toxic relationship. So,
So on to my very next question. So you've also created an original song called "Just a Fling." What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind this song?
okay. So I had an opportunity to collab with an artist from Ohio. His name is J-Pop. And I was in middle school at that time. So I thought it was like super fun to write about prom since prom was happening and everyone was worrying about who to go with or like what to wear. And I was in a relationship at that time, so like since it's like just a fling, so like like but yeah, it was like super upbeat and it was just like super lighthearted and it was super fun.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created an original song called "What's on My Mind." Like, what was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind this song?
Um, so it was the very first song I've written and I was 13 at the time. It was during COVID and everyone was in quarantine. It was on lockdown. No one could go out and see anyone. So I was super sad and lonely and I was like at a dark place. And honestly, like I started journaling at that time and I didn't want to tell my parents, but I started to like write the song and then that's how What's on My Mind came to be. And mainly the meaning behind it is sometimes people like look like they're having a perfect life or there's no pain or no problems that they have, but we all do. We do have problems and pain. And I technically like I hope people like relate to this song or at least it helps one person because it definitely helped me when I wrote it. And just to remember to check in with everyone, like your loved ones, and especially yourself.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created an original song called "Not Attached." Incredible song also. Like, what was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind "Not Attached"?
Thank you so much. And Not Attached was actually the name of the EP and a song in
Okay.
the EP. Not Attached is very personal because it's my story. As I said before, it started at when I was 13. I wrote the song, and I was so young. I had no idea who I wanted to be or where I wanted to go or what artist I wanted to be. But then I realized it's okay to not know all the answers because in the journey, you're still figuring it out. Um, and You can be whoever you want to be, but if you don't like the image, just change if you want to. Like, yeah.
So onto that, like about like becoming an artist. Like, what made you decide as a person, and then, like especially as an artist, like to get into singing in the first place?
So music has always been in my life and a part of me. Um, I remember when I was little, when I was around 2 years old, I would put on my princess dress and I would sing around my house and perform when my parents or like for my parents or when my family came over and put on little shows. And then when I was around 6 or 5 years old, my mom put me in singing with my older siblings. And that's technically the first time that I performed solos and duets. And I remember feeling so nervous because it was the first time I performed in front of people. And then again, when I was 13, I wrote my first song, and that was technically the decision point where I wanted to start producing and writing music, and that's how I came to be.
I have to ask, by the way, who was your favorite princess that you could relate to and why?
Rapunzel, because I honestly have loved her, and I feel like I physically look like her too, with my hair as well. So that was super fun.
Yes, I love that. Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what does performing music like mean to you? Like when you're performing in front of crowds, like what does it mean to you?
Um, it's a way to express myself, and I honestly think it's a cool way to perform in front of strangers because you technically like go up there and they get to know the person you are and as an artist. So you technically meet new people in that room, which I think is super cool.
So on to my very next question. So what has been your like favorite all-time cover song to perform and why?
Um, that's pretty hard because there's a lot of like really good songs. I would say Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. Because it's just like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like a very calming song, and it's obviously by the King of Rock himself, which is like honoring. But yeah, I think it just like complements my voice as well, which I love, and I just love singing it. I just love performing it.
So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Oh, that's hard. I would say the first one would be Ariana Grande. I love her. She's super talented. She has brilliant vocals, and she is a great performer, and she's super entertaining. And I think it would be super cool to perform with her. And the second would be Billie Eilish, because I feel like I really connect with her and she's very real and down to earth. And the way she writes, I'm very inspired by that. And I also want to write like that too. And I think her tone and like her vibe is also very cool as well, which I would love to collab with her. And if I could go back in time, I'd pick Elvis Presley. His life story was so inspirational, and um the fact that he fought for what he believed in and wanted to do was very inspiring as well. and he was obviously the king of rock, which is honestly super cool. And I just love performing his songs, and it's super fun.
I have to ask, by the way, like, what did you think of the Elvis movie when it came out?
Oh my goodness, I loved it. I could sit there and watch it again for hours. It was so good.
I tell you what, Austin, who played Elvis, he is such an incredible actor. I actually hope to meet him one day. But like his performance as Elvis just like captured like everything about Elvis in the film, and
Uh-huh.
praise to Austin. Like he was amazing as a not just as an actor, but like Elvis himself. Like he definitely inspired so many people and so many artists back in the day, and still to this day, like Elvis inspires so many. But yeah, overall, the Elvis movie was amazing, and totally agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. His acting was like, it was very real and it was just incredible to watch.
So on to my very next question for you. So if you could go anywhere on tour, take your music to any place, any country in the world, where would you want to go to and why?
Oh, okay. So I would love to travel all around the world, but if I could pick one, it would be Japan because their culture is very beautiful and I'm just very fascinated by it. Um, and I also love anime and I love sushi as well, which I'm pretty good at chopsticks, just so you know.
Okay.
Um, And I have thought about this before, and my uncle is also fluent in Japanese. So if I ever got to perform there, he would be my own personal like translator.
So cool. I have to ask, by the way, favorite anime?
Oh, that's so hard. I don't know. Um, I'm currently rewatching Blue Exorcist right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Have you seen the show Ruby?
No, I've
It's
never
actually
heard of it, but I
it's
should
a
watch
really
it.
it's a really good anime. It's spelled RWBY, but incredible
Oh,
like anime, like really well done, and yeah, highly
okay.
recommend it. Yeah. So
Okay. I will.
yes. So on to my very next question. So what
Okay.
advice would you give to up and coming artists, like yeah, who want to get into music in the industry, and yeah, what advice would you give them?
I'd say the first thing is to be yourself and not care what others think because the music industry is super hard and competitive. Because there's a lot of amazing singers out there and they're fighting for the exact same dream that you want. And it's just you have to constantly put the work in and keep fighting for what you want. And if you don't, then you're not going to get anywhere. But I would say constantly work and never give up.
So on to the advice part two. Like if you could give like younger Paisley advice, what like looking back over your time in the career of the music industry, like what would you give to younger Paisley and why?
I would technically say the same thing, but also be confident in yourself and believe yourself because when I was little, I had stage fright and it was super hard for me to perform and get to this place as I am right now. Um, but also to say, um, failing is not a bad thing. It's a learning process. And if someone says no, like you can keep learning from that and progress and just keep working. And I think that's what I would say to myself.
So on to my the very next question. So what are like the positive and negative side into the music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Okay. That's super hard because there's a lot of good positives and negatives. Um, I would say work with talented artists is one. You get to have new experiences, you get to meet new people, you get to create music and do something that you love. And you get to grow and learn as a person and an artist. And I'd say for the negatives, finding time between your career, like your singing career and life, because school, family, events, it's just hard to find placing where you can practice singing and also work on your songs. But I would also say for a negative is losing friendships or relationships that aren't supportive, because that also damages you and like puts you in a place in your singing career that also like kind of stops you and holds you back. And I say like not feeling good enough or having negative thoughts, which also holds you back, and it's just super hard to get out of. And then how I would cope with that is being surrounded in my supportive circle, which is my friends, my family, just everyone that I would love to be around. And taking time for yourself is also important, because loving yourself is definitely a number one thing in life in general. And just knowing to take time and take a break was very important. And that's what I would say.
So on to my very last question. So like what's next for you like for the rest of 2023 onwards, like goal wise? Do you like have anything to announce on the show?
Um, I am currently working on a new EP with an artist, with a Grammy nominee artist, actually. I just got back from LA a week ago, and we're almost done with it, actually. I want to do an album currently in the few years that um but there's gonna be the EP coming out and a single coming out as well, and I honestly just want to keep creating music and see where I go. And um you can also Paisley Skye Music, Skye with an E, and you can find me on all platforms, all my singles and my EP. And I would say thank you for having me for this interview, and I hope everything goes well. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Paisley, for appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure. Uh, do you have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Um, I would say never be afraid to show yourself, because everyone is unique and different. And I say, um, when you're yourself, be confident, own it, because everyone loves to see that specific different person that you are. And always love yourself and never give up.
I think anybody who falls in love is a freak. It's a crazy thing to do. It's kind of like a form of socially acceptable insanity, 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 insanity.
Am I out of my head? Am I out of my mind? If you only know the bad things I like, don't think that I can explain it. What can I say? It's complicated. No matter what you say, don't matter what you do, I only wanna do bad things to you. So good that you can't explain it. What can I say? It's complicated.
Nothing's that bad if it feels good. So you come back like I know you would. And we're both wild and the night's young, and you're my drug. Breathe you into my face numb, drop it down to that bass drum. I got what you dream about, nail scratching my back tat, eyes closed when you scream out. And you keep me in with those hips, while my teeth sink in those lips, while your body's giving me life, and you suffocating my kiss. Then you said I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you whenever. Oh,
am I out of my head? Am I out of my mind? If you only know the bad things I like, don't think that I can explain it. What can I say? It's complicated.
yeah.
No matter what you say, don't matter what you do, I only wanna do bad things to you. So good that you can't explain it. What can I say? It's complicated.
I can't explain it. I love the pain, and I love the way that your breath numbs me like Novocaine. And we are always high, keep it strange. Okay, yeah, I'm insane, but you the same. Let me paint the picture. Couch by the kitchen, nothing but your heels on, losing our religion. You're my pretty little vixen, and I'm that voice inside your head. that keeps telling you to listen to all the bad things I say. And you said I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you whenever.
Am I out of my head? Am I out of my mind? If you only know the bad things I like, don't think that I can explain it. What can I say? It's complicated. No matter what you say, don't matter what you do, I only wanna do bad things to you. So good, you can't explain it. What can I say? It's complicated. The way we love is all you need. And when we touch, I'm shivering. You no one has to get it, just you and me. We're just living between the sheets.
I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you whenever.
Am I out of my head? Am I out of my mind? If you only know the bad things I like, don't think that I can explain it. What can I say? It's complicated. Don't matter what you say, don't matter what you do, I only wanna do bad things to you. So good that you can't explain it. What can I say? It's complicated.